You wouldn't want to get Casey Neistat
That would be cool, but
anything
that
like
would be
that?
cool. But he's been on podcasts, so Pete, like it's been done before. We want to
Right.
break barriers, you know. Aliens, man, I'm telling you, that's what's going to take this show to the next level. Welcome back, Second Perspective Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Well, to be fair, you might as well call it Fourth Perspective today because we are with our friends, myself and Pete, are with our friends Charlie and Andrew. Boys, how we doing?
Yeah, not too bad.
Doing good. I like that little play on words right there.
Yeah, you like that?
Goot said the exact same thing. He said the exact same thing
way.
as we were coming into this.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah.
Wait, Charlie, what country are you in?
England.
England? So 3 perspectives, maybe.
Yeah,
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're in the same country too, man.
I know, so that's one.
So it is just second perspective then, right?
Rich is in England as well.
Oh, I thought you were in Scotland.
No.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. I didn't do my
I wish.
research.
So how we doing then? All right.
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good over here. We got
Yeah.
our Corona seltzers. I didn't
That's
run this past you, Rich, but we're gonna crack these seltzers open.
Little ASMR.
Yeah, that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. We don't even have those over here. We only get them in the bottle, Corona.
Right. Yeah. These are the
You
new.
guys have seltzers
Yeah.
over there, like a bunch of them?
No, what is it?
We have like Spike Seltzer, White Claw, Corona Seltzer. We got like 10 kinds.
You heard of White Claw?
No,
No.
Either of you?
white.
Really?
What's
No.
a salsa?
So basically, the trend over here in the States is right now. I know this wasn't on our plan, Rich, but I guess we should talk about it. It gives a good perspective here. But
Yeah, go for it.
the trend in the States here in alcoholic beverages, I suppose, is just the healthier kind of seltzer. So all the brands like Bud Light has just dropped a seltzer. Corona just dropped their seltzer. But it all started a couple years ago with White Claw. So like
It's
that's
basically just malt liquor.
yeah, it's basically just like a
zero
sparkling
calories,
water.
whatever.
If I guess.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, we've got like Bud Light and Coors Light, I think, and then everything else is just like normal beer. Like Corona, we only get in the bottle as well. We don't get them in cans or anything, which is strange seeing you drinking Corona out of a can, but that's different, I guess. Second ever episode. So obviously last week was our first ever one. It went quite well. Well, I think it went quite well. We got a fair few views, which I wasn't expecting. So yeah, it was good fun. Like I really enjoyed it. I don't know. Hopefully, if you're back watching us again, then hopefully you've enjoyed it. I don't know what you boys thought. Have you seen it, Charlie or Andrew? Have you watched it? Have you managed to have time to?
Yeah, I watched
give it a watch?
You better say yes to this, man.
No, yeah, I watched like 15 minutes of it. I'm still in my finals right now. So
Okay.
I was a little busy, but
Yeah. Okay,
on my
okay.
downtime I listened to it. And you guys are really good. I saw that the views went up. You guys got like 70 views in like the first 2 days. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I watched it. I watched it Sunday. About I think it's a couple of hours after it came out.
You watched it. You were the first few, weren't you?
No, I wasn't the first few.
Don't say that, Charlie.
So a lot of the audience doesn't know this, but we did and Charlie does, but we did at the end of the episode mixed in there, we did a $5. We'll drop your Venmo, drop the timestamp, and Charlie was one of the winners, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Rich, did you hit him with the charge yet?
Not
Is it still
yet. I'll get.
No,
him.
I
It's
checked
still
my
out.
bank earlier. I checked my bank earlier and it still wasn't in there.
Yeah, you should do it now.
It's in the post.
Hold you accountable.
It's in the post.
Oh, okay.
There we
Yeah.
I'll sort you.
So we're gonna keep doing that. We might do one this episode. Andrew knows it's something I like to do, and so if you're a fan, if you're a listener, we'll take note of that. But yeah, and you might find yourself a little bit richer. Oh, that's a pun too.
Yeah, this one is $100 at the end of episode. So
All right, man, chill.
and that's coming from Charlie.
That's coming from you, dude.
Yeah.
You the one that brought it up.
My
Charlie.
SoundCloud money.
So what did you think then? What did you think when you watched it? Did you think it was good? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked y'all's. I don't like that I just said y'all. I like y'all's interaction. I think the accent definitely helps too, and you guys had some good conversation I didn't watch the whole thing. Charlie could probably be better at reiterating some of the things you guys talked about. But I liked hearing the perspectives on quarantine and like how you were getting into better health habits. And I think you threw Charlie under the bus a little bit with eating poorly, didn't you?
Yeah.
Damn.
I did,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it was funny because when I sent Rich that photo, I knew he was eating badly, and I was trying to eat healthy and running and stuff. And then, well, as he said, he started eating healthier, and I've fallen off a cliff.
It
I've
happens.
stopped running.
I've been eating a lot of ramen.
All right, Rich, you wanna get into Muppet of the Week? I think now's a good time to get into it.
Muppet of the Week.
Let's do it. So, last week, if you watched, you will have heard me and Pete mention the fact that we are going to introduce a segment every week in the podcast called Muppet of the Week. So Muppet of the Week is basically where we just talk about our two biggest Muppets of the week. Last week I was very kindly nominated for Muppet of the Week by Pete, and I think we had a couple of votes, and I am delighted to announce that I was in fact, I was made the Muppet of the Week. So I'm really happy about that. But my Muppet of the Week this week, you'll never have heard of this at all in the States, and this is why I've picked that person. So we've got like a quiz show, if you like. It's where like quizmasters take on normal human beings, and it's called The Chase. So effectively, like, you've got these four amazing quizmasters who are just like phenomenal. The answer, their general knowledge is just.
I've seen this.
Yeah. So you've seen it, right? So
I've seen this. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like I say, it's pretty good. Like, it's well watched in the UK. Like, it's a pretty big show. It's on. I think
It's a game show, right?
That's it. Yeah. It's on every night, like 5 p.m. whatever. But just last night, actually, and again, this is made national news. It just shows how our news sources in the UK here aren't all that in depth. But basically, this woman, her name is Hannah. I won't mention her second name, but she was on the show, and she was asked by the host. One of the questions was, what sprinter Asafa Powell comes from what Caribbean country? That was her question. So her answer, I have a guess. What do you think her answer was? If she's my Muppet of the Week.
It was Sapphire Pebble from island. Is that what you asked?
What Caribbean island?
Asafa Powell. He's a sprinter.
Oh.
Oh, I thought you said Sapphire Pebble.
Is it?
That's what I thought.
Is it lagging that bad?
It's like, no, it's just me being ignorant.
Okay.
You want to have a go at this?
I could probably pick what she probably said, but
You said it's a Caribbean nation.
Yeah. So the sprinter. Yeah, Asafa Powell
Jamaica?
from.
Oh, she must have said something wild out, like not even
like
close.
Haiti.
So
Well, no, I mean, Haiti's not a terrible guess. Like,
I'm gonna guess Jamaica.
Jamaica.
I guess.
yeah, that's where he's from. He's from Jamaica, and like,
Right,
look,
right,
like,
yeah.
like at the end of the day, if you didn't know it, then it's not the end of the world. Like, but her answer to the sprinter, where he was from a Caribbean country, was
Right.
Africa. She answered Africa.
Oh my
Oh.
god.
And the reason she's my
Yeah.
the reason she's my Muppet of the Week is because she's a teacher, and it is just like astonishing that is how bad her geography is, that she is teaching people. I mean, look, she might not be teaching people geography. I hope she's not, but either way, she should know that Africa is in fact, well, it's not a Caribbean country. Let's be honest. But yeah, she's my Muppet of the Week. Like I said, I'm not going to name her second name because it's not fair. But like, come on.
My god, yeah. I that's what I kind of meant by she must have said something wild and just totally wrong.
Oh, horrendous.
So first off, she was asked a individual nation, but she said an entire continent, right? Is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. This is my point.
Like, she would have been closer if she just said the Caribbean.
Yeah, right.
Like, if she just said the Caribbean, I would have maybe let it slide.
Yeah.
Well, it makes that. Yeah, I don't even know. That's terrible. Okay, do you want to know my Muppet of the Week, Rich?
Go for it. If it's me again, I'm done with this.
No, it's not you, or it's not Charlie. It's not Goot. But so this actually happened about a month ago, and it is Vanessa Hudgens. I don't know if you are familiar with who Vanessa Hudgens is, the two of
Yeah,
you.
she's a singer, isn't she?
Yeah, so she was kind of a singer, but started in acting on Disney
Yeah.
with Zac Efron and stuff like that in High School Musical. And she came out on social media about a month ago now. You got to remember the timing of this. So this is March, like 17th, 20th. This came up in my Twitter timeline. That's how I was reminded of it. I know it's not super current, but she came out and said about coronavirus. She was just ranting on Instagram Live. Even if everybody gets it, like, yeah, people are going to die, but it's inevitable. And she just kept, the way it was delivered, I couldn't find a link to the actual video.
She took it down, didn't she? Yeah, I seen this, and then she took it down straight away.
Yeah, so, I mean, the key to this is obviously the timing. And she can't, like, I guess as a celebrity, you have to choose your words carefully there, especially.
You gotta be a little more sensitive to a serious topic like that, and just just say you're all gonna die.
Right. Yeah, like you can't deliver it in the way that she did. She eventually apologized, but I think. Well, you think a celebrity who's been around like her for, I mean, she must be, 28 years old now?
30? Maybe older, yeah, right? 30.
You think a celebrity who has been around for that long, been in the spotlight for that long, would kind of understand that, I guess, but this is such a new thing for all of us. So it's hard to understand, especially when all of our lives were changing so drastically about a month ago.
She got a lot of backlash for that as well, didn't she? I've seen on Twitter and stuff.
Yeah, she did. She apologized. I can read the apology. I mean, actually, it's pretty mundane. I realize my words are insensitive and not appropriate for all in the situation in the world right now. This has been a huge wake-up call about the significance my words have now more than ever. I'm sending wishes. So she did redeem herself, I guess. It was a mundane apology, but that's my Muppet of the Week.
I think
thoughts?
Yeah, go for it. I was just about to say thoughts. Let's have the boys vote on this. I think this week, as they're the guests. I think it's only fitting.
I think that she should have. I'm a big believer in that. Bad press is good press. Like, there's no such thing as bad press. Yeah. And if I went with it, if I were her, I would have just gone the full mile and maybe posted another one like the next week. Like, she's kind of washed up, so that could have been a good marketing technique.
That's a good show, actually.
To be fair, I haven't said the name Vanessa Hudgens in probably 10 years, so yeah. I guess he's got a point there.
Exactly.
You think her PR team was like, hey, you should really say something this sensitive to get your name out there?
This is the thing as well. Like, I always thought a celebrity of that sort of standard or stature, if that makes sense, would have someone taking care of that sort of thing for her. I wouldn't have thought she would have been sat on her couch and after a few wines and just gone, oh, I'm just going to say this. Like, I thought someone would be taking care of that sort of thing professionally. So maybe it wasn't her. Maybe it was just some other idiot sat on his couch with a few Corona cans that you boys are drinking. Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Corona cans.
I forgot what they were called.
Yeah, she shouldn't have done it. I mean, you got to be sensitive towards things like that. Like, people are dying. Yeah. And people are losing family members. Yeah.
So,
what do you think, Charlie?
Yeah, I mean, what she said was true. Everyone does die, but like you say, it is the timing. I mean, it's the wrong thing to say, isn't it? Really.
Yeah, she's just spitting bars.
Shut the hell up.
That's a bar.
We're going to be more hated than her in a second, boys. I tell you.
Right. I know.
Yeah, no. My vote goes for my vote goes for Jamaica Girl.
Yeah, she's.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I would have to swing that way.
Yeah, you can't get it that wrong.
Like, to not know the.
Wait, can I do a guest Muppet?
Yeah,
why
course,
not?
Yeah,
I just thought of this, because you guys know it's May 5th, and we celebrate in America's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
And so my Muppet of the week is the whole country of America, because we adopt some other country's holidays so we can have an excuse to drink. Yeah. And I partake, but it's pretty ignorant.
Have you guys ever heard of Cinco de Mayo?
Never.
No.
So
it's a Mexican holiday.
Well, it's only celebrated in like one province of Mexico.
Really?
I was told. So like,
it's like not even a Mexican holiday.
No.
Right. It's like a made-up American thing to sell tortillas and Coronas. So I'm serious. It sounds crazy, but like that's what everyone does tonight.
No way.
So
And so what?
we love to adopt other people's holidays.
And so is it like, it's not like a bank holiday or anything, is it? Would you normally be off work, or is it just like
No,
it's not even like a holiday. It's like it's not recognized by anyone.
Okay.
Like it's just basically like a social. It's like a socially recognized thing.
Yeah.
You know.
wasn't this celebrating like independence?
Yeah, that's what everyone thinks that. I'm not sure. My friend Alejandro, who is from Mexico, talked about it once, and I can't remember exactly what he said, but he had a strong disdain for it because he said a lot of Americans don't like Mexico, but except for this stupid holiday that they made up. So he just had this disdain for Cinco de Mayo ever since. But that was a good one, Andrew. I'm glad you mentioned that because it is relevant.
Yeah,
you know?
I digress. My bad.
There's just a lot of things going on in the world right now. Like, there's so many things. I don't know if did you hear the whole thing in Russia? Like, I don't want to drift way off topic, but like Russia, they've not reported, and again, the whole Corona thing, we don't want to go into it too much in depth, but I just read this morning when I woke up. It was like, because they're not reporting any deaths or anything, everyone was like, wow, surely there must be things happening in Russia. Did you hear the thing about the doctors coming out and saying that, hold on, let's see if I can get it. They were saying that, that they are having a lot of deaths and the hospitals are overrun and stuff. And then 3 of them have just all of a sudden, 3 doctors, all of a sudden have just fell out of windows. Honestly, I need to show.
Oh, we should not be laughing.
Yeah, you shouldn't laugh because I'm going to crash tomorrow on the way to work or something. Crash.
Oh, we're sharing the screen.
Let's share it. Let's have a little look. Hold on. So, look at this. Look, 3 Russian doctors fall from hospital window, raising questions amid coronavirus pandemic. So they've literally came out and just said, like, the frontline healthcare workers, they've just said, like, they're being forced to go to work. It's not very. They don't agree with it, all of this, and the ICU beds and all of this, they're under immense pressure, and then they've all been thrown out of a window, and 2 of them have died, and 1 guy is still in hospital, so it'll be interesting to see what happens to him, but it's just crazy what is happening to 2020.
Yeah. Did they allegedly fall? Like, is that what they're saying?
Yeah, and
it's a poorly designed hospital.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the answer.
Exactly.
I mean, it's kind of it reminds me of the Kim Jong-un thing. I don't know if you guys followed that, but you followed that a little bit, right? Like, apparently he was in a vegetative state. It was being reported everywhere across the world, and then I think he reappeared a couple days ago. I haven't read anything on it, but he was apparently in surgery, and it made me think of the doctor that, if this is any true, he gave him open heart surgery and made him into and evidently messed that up, and then he was in a vegetative state, the supreme leader of North Korea, and it got me thinking about that doctor, who I'm sure he might be dead now, but if any of that is true,
yeah, he probably fell out a window as well.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of people falling out of windows.
It's just insane, isn't it? But yeah, didn't he died like a couple of years ago as well? Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un?
He was like,
he's alive.
I know he's alive, but I mean, like, he was dead for like a couple of weeks. Everyone was like, "Oh, he's dead. He's dead." He just like vanishes. I think he just goes somewhere else for a few weeks. He just takes a holiday and says he's dead, just so no one will text him, and he just goes off into the sunset in his horse.
Could be like another Vanessa Hudgens situation where he's just trying to get relevant again.
Yeah, maybe.
Just trying to get in the mouths of the people.
I saw him cutting the ribbon, like the Kim Jong-un. Like, there's a video of him cutting the ribbon like the other day, like, because he's alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
like, actually.
Yeah, like he was like cutting it with little scissors.
Oh,
he's a strange guy, isn't he?
Yeah, we need Kim Jong Dose.
We need to get him on the podcast.
It's a pretty good joke, though. And you guys didn't even.
What
laugh.
was that?
It's a tough crowd.
I didn't hear it.
I said we need Kim Jong Dose.
It wasn't very funny, if I'm going to be honest.
Charlie's very hard to
beat. It wasn't.
Have you read his story? Kim Jong Un. He's such a he grew up with like more toys than like, I don't know what toy factories you've got over there, but over here like Toys R Us is quite a big one, and he like grew up with like all these toys, and he just had access to anything, and he just didn't, there was no like outer world. It was like whatever he wanted he got, and he just like, it was like a playground. Everything was just like a game to him basically, hence why he like now plays around with nuclear missiles and
right. I mean, his toys now are tanks and shit like that.
Exactly.
But I wanted to bring Charlie into the conversation for a question that I mentioned this to Rich, and this is more of kind of a content creation side. And so the first videos that I ever watched of Rich is when you and Charlie went to Norway. You went to Oslo, right? And you know, you were pretty reserved and quiet, and Rich got the camera out, and you looked at it kind of funny sometimes, and you looked a little skeptical of this whole vlog thing. And what were your opinions on Rich starting a vlog? And I know that wasn't when he started the vlog, but like, what are your opinions on Rich starting a vlog, and how have they changed, if they have at all?
This is actually I rewatched those vlogs, and I rewatched some of the other ones because I was bored in quarantine. I had nothing to do, and I obviously saw myself on camera, and it's something I wanted to talk about, because unless you've done it, you don't realize how hard it is to talk to a camera, because there's no one there. So it's like you don't actually get any interaction with anyone,
especially in public. Like
Rich
and I mentioned this the first time we recorded the podcast when it was deleted, but it's tough talking to a camera. It takes practice. I mean, and especially in public, when you go back and watch vlogging, like me, my first time vlogging in public, it's terrible. You know, I mean, you're worried, you're looking around, you're looking over your shoulder. So I'm glad you brought that up. It is tough.
It's strange, isn't it? Like, and it is a weird thing, I suppose. Like, you know, me and Pete are probably more used to it than as I said, especially than we were at the start when we first started the channel. I know I've definitely improved in my head. Whether I've improved on camera, I've definitely improved. Like, my comfort is improved, I guess. But you forget that sometimes, like when I'm with people, especially when I was with you, Charlie, like the first couple of times, you just sort of forget, because you think, oh well, if I'm used to it, you've got to be used to it, I guess. It's a really weird one. But I think, like, I don't know, I can't speak on your behalf, but you've definitely become more comfortable over the last, well, I've not seen you for months now, but like beforehand, you were,
yeah.
You know.
I would agree. It is something you need to get used to.
It's
like you say, if you go back and watch your first videos compared to now, you're a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, more myself, I guess, because, yeah, I don't know. I can't speak on your behalf, but yeah, it's a difficult one. Like, I wouldn't know how I would have felt if I didn't do YouTube, and then all of a sudden I was in just someone's video that was producing videos on the internet, albeit to not a very big audience, but even still, like, people are watching your opinions and you talking without actually you ever knowing them or ever going to see them in person, I guess. So it's quite a weird one, actually. I've never thought of it from that side, to be fair. I know. Good question, though,
yeah,
Pete.
I wanted to say that it's weird to be in front of the camera, especially if it's just yourself. I couldn't do that. But being on the other side of the camera and just filming has this weird, like, power complex.
Yeah,
because,
you can make people talk and stuff.
Well,
right?
Yeah, you can do anything. Like, I remember we were, like, doing the vlogs and stuff, and I went to Nashville with some friends, and he didn't go. But I just took one of his cameras to see if I could capture anything, and it all became corrupt because I don't know what I'm doing. But when I was doing it, I was having fun because I was in the downtown area of Nashville, and I was just filming everybody. I was filming inside of bars, and like they weren't saying anything to me. I was filming like wacky people, like holding weird signs, like they're saying, what can I say, like something vulgar?
Yeah, I mean, how vulgar is it? Are we
it's not like
offensive
super
or?
vulgar. No, it's like one of the signs says like I'll suck your dick for money. It was like some homeless guy just like sitting with a sign.
Did you do it?
Like, it was wild. And I was just like filming him. Like, I wish it could have made it like it didn't get corrupt, but it's weird. Like, the power you can have behind the camera, like,
Right. I
you
mean,
can do anything.
yeah. So, Andrew, like, the thing I've come to learn at working in video and photo at like actual sporting events the last couple of years is that like when you have a camera, like people don't necessarily question you as much, especially like I've seen people just walk right into music festivals, walk right into concerts backstage, sporting events with their camera and no media credential or anything. So like you said, like when you have a camera in your hand, I guess there is this aspect of, I mean, power, I guess is the word, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm
Our
glad
friend,
you brought that up.
Austin Rich, I don't know if he ever told you this, but he was at a Florida State football game. It's a college here, and it's a big college. And he was at a football game, and he had a camera, and he walked down to the field to take pictures, and they just handed him a pass.
No way.
No
And
way.
he
I
walked
didn't
to
know
the
that.
production room, yeah. And he hung out with like the production team like the whole game. Like, and he had like no business being there. He was just visiting.
See,
Like, it's wild.
that's crazy. Yeah, I actually feel when I film someone, I feel more comfortable filming myself talking than I do filming someone else than just shoving a camera in their face. I don't know what it is. I feel
Yeah.
like I'm putting them on the spot, and I don't ever like to put someone on the spot, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. If it's me and like, say if I'm getting a shot and it's like me and say Charlie beside me and we're talking, that's fine. But if I feel much more comfortable just filming myself talking than just going putting a camera in Charlie's face and going, "What are you doing?" Like, I don't know. That's just my opinion, I guess. But
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you. Whenever Andrew and I first started making these vlogs, you know, it was kind of like an idea that it was a loose idea, and I had never really talked in front of the camera, to the extent that I do now. And Andrew really helped out with that because he was always down to be like, "Yo, put the camera on me, put the camera on me," and
just loves it. Just
but to be fair,
I love the power.
he was good at it. So Andrew is like in my videos at least, I mean, it hasn't been recently just because of the nature of the world right now. It hasn't been a lot of the two of us are our friends. But he is always like the driving force of like the comedy and all the conversations that happen. And then I'm kind of more the technical side. That's obviously changed. And I think that's helped me because I've had to do my own thing and kind of talk to the camera my way and create a story around like just me. But obviously when you're there, Andrew, the videos are a lot better.
yeah.
So,
Well. Right, I don't know how to get on this next topic smoothly, because usually what we try and do in the podcast, I say usually, like we've had one episode, but what we try and do, I don't know if you've noted, well, this is now the third one, I guess, but usually what we try and do is we slip into the next subject quite subtly, but there's no real way of doing this subtly other than just going NASA. It's something that we want to talk about, and that is what we're going to start talking about, I guess. So this week, NASA and SpaceX announced that they are launching 2 American astronauts into space for the first time in like nearly a decade, isn't it? Do you see that? Oh,
I don't know this.
You don't know this?
well, you didn't. Rich sent this to me yesterday when we were planning this out.
It's interesting.
We've just
Keep going.
We've just just rabbit in the headlights at this stage. But yeah, basically, yeah, they're launching this spacecraft, I guess you can call it that, into space in the first time in nearly a decade. I think it's Elon Musk's company, isn't it? SpaceX.
Yeah,
I'll get it up on the screen.
yeah.
Actually,
He's a wild one. He's a wild card.
he's mad, isn't he?
But
He's got so many.
He
Like,
is. When we were planning this episode, we wanted something that we could talk about and mix different things in, and we'll get into that. But we figured we could talk about this type of stuff for a long time. Elon Musk is, I don't know a way to describe him, but he's a incredibly influential business figure, and he will. Yeah, he's definitely eccentric. That's
he's
a
a
good
very
word to
clever
put it.
man too, though, isn't he? But
Well,
talking about,
I don't know if
go on.
in LA he built so what they're trying to do is build in addition to SpaceX, he's trying to build like stuff like a vacuum sealed high speed rail underground. So in LA, there's like this mile long of track, vacuum sealed, and you can go like 400 miles an hour.
I heard
like that.
about
Like
this,
he's got his hand in a bunch of things.
I actually, it was on Joe Rogan's podcast. He was talking about it, wasn't it? He just started digging. He said he was in LA. He's got a property in LA, and he just started digging, and he just basically told, the local governing bodies, whatever, and he just said, "I'm just digging a tunnel," because he wants to reduce. What is it? He wants to reduce
traffic.
Yeah, reduce traffic and stuff.
I saw it there. Yeah.
Just crazy, like. But his whole idea here, with the NASA SpaceX thing, he wants to regularly fly humans to space. That's the idea. So I think last year when I was reading about it, last year when they launched it, it went up and it landed. It was a successful trip, but there was no humans on board. Whereas now they're sending humans up just to see, I guess, if it's going to work. And he wants to, that's his goal, I guess, is to have humans regularly traveling to space. But
he wants to make it like a ride. Like a Disneyland?
Essentially.
Like he wants to make it an excursion?
Essentially.
That's wild.
That is wild, yeah. That's what I thought. And like these astronauts, obviously, people have been in space before, but I started doing a bit of digging because obviously this craft, if you like, spacecraft, hasn't actually been in space with a human on it. And I just thought, like, these guys are crazy. And I've done a bit of research into how you can become an astronaut, just because why not? You just start clicking. And it's 80 times harder to get into than Harvard, which is like...
Jesus Christ.
So then I thought, right, well, how much are these guys getting paid? How much are they getting paid? Go on, have a stab in the dark.
$100,000. That's it.
What, one-off payment or a year?
Year. I bet it's not very high. Maybe higher than that. Maybe 250.
Depends. I don't know how much time out of the year they dedicate to it, but I'm going to say
right?
7 figures.
Okay, Charlie,
you got to guess.
What's your like average salary type thing in America?
For what?
For like just your average,
like
in general,
like a doctor, like your average, just like physician would probably make what, 250, probably 200.
Yeah,
grand.
Really?
Could like a surgeon would make
like
400.
Yeah,
serious?
like a surgeon would make 400 grand.
Okay,
Oh.
so
That's a lot. When you said 100 grand, that's a lot of money in England. Like nobody gets paid.
Oh.
Very few people get paid that much money.
no, they don't get
It
paid.
really just depends.
Well, how much? 400 grand. 400.
Oh no, don't quote me on that. People are gonna watch this.
Right. Anyway, so
How much? Yeah.
they earn between 60 and 90 grand a year.
That's
it.
Damn, I said 7 figures. Like,
I was close at the first
Yeah.
one, to be fair.
I guess I was accounting for. Do they have like endorsements?
That's what they earn
Like,
a year.
they might, right?
Maybe when they go
I
to
guess I
space,
was
they might get.
thinking beyond their salary.
Well, guys like Neil Armstrong and stuff definitely, like the guys that went to the moon in the 70s,
Yeah.
definitely got huge endorsements, right? They
They
must
must
have.
have, yeah.
But I guess as far as salary goes, I could see that.
It's a government job. Like it's in the end, like that it's almost a branch of the military, probably, right?
Yeah.
To an extent, like they're paid like military jobs. Which I mean, if you're going into space, that there's so much risk, you should probably receive a much higher.
I think
reward
so.
when you think about it.
And
It's just
But they probably don't have to pay for anything else.
yeah.
Like, they
No,
probably-
yeah, you're right. You're definitely right about that. They probably get housing and everything too, to an extent.
yeah, but I mean,
But it does depend on like how much time they spend out of the year on like training. I don't know.
I'm
I don't
sure
know
it's
all that.
yeah. I'm sure it's pretty extensive.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
probably.
imagine so. But yeah, I just
You'd
wanted
hope
to
so,
bring
anyway.
that up because it sort of blew my mind, and I was like, it got me thinking again, because I've got quite a sort of vivid imagination. So I started thinking, like, what if in our lifetime he actually is successful with this whole thing, and he brings out this thing where you can go to space, like you said, like Disneyland, and it's like, it's an actual, it's an accessible thing. You could actually go on. Like, how much is that going to cost to go on that trip?
Jeez. I mean,
Is this a question?
Yeah, no, it's
Do you
just a
know?
general question. I wouldn't have a
$200,000,
clue.
like-
it
it
must
costs
cost.
millions to send one person in space,
Yeah,
right?
Well,
It's
well,
got
this
to.
whole project that they're launching in the 27th of May is cost apparently, yeah. Again, you take everything with a pinch of salt, but from what I could get, it was $5 billion.
Yeah. That's,
5 billion. You
Yeah.
can't even compare. How much is it going to cost to just go, I want a trip, me and my family, where are you going this summer on your holidays? Well, we're going to the moon. Like, it's going to cost a lot of money. Like, it's not going to be cheap.
yeah.
And I don't know, like, surely they could just spend their money on something else. Like, I don't know. Like, why would you want to go to the moon?
Well,
There's, you know,
Nothing to do.
nothing to do. You've seen it. You go up, and that's it. Come home. Can't drink
Yeah.
Corona.
I just feel like even breaking the atmosphere would be a lot more efficient. Like,
Oh,
if
you're
you just-
saying like just going up to the top
yeah,
of
if
the
you
atmosphere.
if you just float around for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Because if you were to go to like the moon,
Like you're talking ISS or space station type
Yeah.
levels, right? Where you're still like in orbit.
Mm.
could you
Yeah.
imagine that
I think that would be cool, just to see Earth from that perspective.
you have to plan like a week?
It is wild to me that we sent people to the moon in 1969
Yeah.
through like 1972, and we haven't sent anyone since.
Mm.
Think about how much technology has evolved since
Yeah.
then. Just like when in the 70s, the computer was the size of the room we are in, probably the size of the bottom floor house. Like it's like 4-bedroom apartment.
Mm.
And now you got more processing power in your phone.
Yeah.
And we could send people to the moon then. What could we do now, you know? And it's just probably because of you need that competition.
Yeah,
Back
but-
then there was the competition from the Russians.
Also, what's the benefit to going to the moon now? Like,
Right,
we
exactly.
know what's
like
there.
you said. Right. So, I mean, obviously, I think the next goal is Mars.
Yeah.
I think
Probably
that would
a lot we
definitely
don't know.
benefit. Right, yeah. I think that would definitely benefit. The difference is that takes,
A lot longer to get to.
a year and a half, 2 years to get there. So,
I don't want
and
to
you,
comment on how long it takes. I couldn't
yeah,
guess.
I don't know, yeah.
What you're
Yeah, I don't know
what
at
you're
all.
referring to,
A
Charlie?
3-year round trip.
That's a long time.
Something like that, right? It's got to be. You watched The Martian, right? I don't know. I can't remember.
I can't remember how long.
But it's crazy, you know? I mean, the technology we could put aboard a spacecraft now would be insane, you know what I mean?
And this is sort of my point as well. Like, it's so much money to not only, I don't know, like, it's a lot of money. Like, couldn't they
Right.
either do something else with it? If they've got to spend that money on, say, going to space, then why don't they go somewhere else for a change and try and discover something
I
else?
agree.
Or, I don't know, like, surely like, with everything that's going on in the world right now, you know, like,
Yeah, when did you say they were doing it?
27th of this month, like 3 weeks away.
Like, you wouldn't think they could pump that money into the economy or something.
Right
Yeah.
now, yeah.
Something like that.
It's unbelievable.
It's just, I think it's it's much more complicated than that, you know? I
It's
think
private investment.
for us to speak on it
Mm.
is almost inappropriate in a way, like the spending wise. I figured it was just baffling to me that it's been 50 years since all of that went down, and I think you need that competition from somewhere. I think one day it'll happen, maybe not in our lifetime, but we're definitely going to go to Mars, whether it's not a priority right now, obviously, but I mean, with that being said, I want to make this topic a little lighter. What are the best everyone's top 3 space movies of all time?
Top 3.
So like
movies.
anything involving going to space, exploring other planets, anything like that.
Can I do a show?
You can do a show, yeah,
Okay.
sure. Why not?
Well,
'Cause
you
it-
guys go first. 'Cause I'm
Yeah.
still thinking.
Charlie.
Well, I'd say all of the Star Wars films.
Okay.
Thor Ragnarok.
Okay, I haven't seen that one either.
You've not,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, it's so funny. I don't know what else.
It's a difficult one. I don't watch many. I don't
Yeah.
watch. I'm not like
I was
big
going to say
into.
there aren't many space films.
Yeah, I think Star Wars
Space
is
Jam.
Space Jam.
That's the third one.
Space
Jam.
Jam.
Yeah.
it doesn't count.
I only watched
That
that for the
doesn't
first time.
Space
really.
Jam 2.
That's a good.
You did
I'm
what?
predicting.
Yeah,
The first time?
yeah.
I love
That's a
that movie,
classic.
Space Jam. They're making another one with LeBron.
Yeah,
No
so
way.
I've seen that, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't know
I
that?
didn't know that. That's
yeah.
cool.
Second one with LeBron, it's going to be
That's
weird.
cool though.
But Andrew, you got your top 3 space movies?
I really like the show Lost in Space.
Okay.
It's a recreation of an older show. I'm not a big Star Trek fan. I was just throwing that one out there.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah.
But
You like Star Wars?
yeah. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan. I'm not
Yeah.
a super fan.
I would consider that more of like a sci-fi
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
You know, like it's kind of
Yeah, I'm not saying it's
Interstellar.
accurate.
Right. Yeah.
Gravity with Sandra Bullock is fire.
I've heard
Yeah.
that's really
And,
good. Yeah.
Yeah, Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey. That one's great. You guys should check that one out.
My top 3: Apollo 13. Have you guys seen Apollo 13?
No.
You've never seen it either? All right, so it's about the moon landing that was botched, and they had to make a plan. It's a true story. It has Tom Hanks. And they had to basically use the moon's gravity to slingshot themselves around the moon. Like, this actually happened in real life. Their chance of survival was like 3% or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know what it's about. Yeah, but I've not seen the film.
But yeah, so that one's probably number 3. Gravity's probably number 2. Or no, Martian. Sorry, Martian's probably 2, and then 1 is Interstellar by far. Interstellar's an insane movie.
Great. It's like
Good
the Inception of space movies.
I've heard it's really
Right?
good.
Yeah, I mean, you got to watch that.
Yeah,
Both of you.
I need to
You
watch all
haven't seen
3 of those. To be fair, I've not seen them. Much like Charlie, I've not really seen many space movies at all. Star Wars. Sorry, used to quite like them when I was a kid. Really grabbed my imagination, and we got the games and stuff as well. But apart from that, like I've not really seen many. To be fair, I tell you what, I did watch though last night. Obviously, because we were taking it back. Sort of like we were talking about getting on this subject, so I thought I've got to sort of educate myself a little bit. So I went on Netflix, having a little browse around, and I came across this. What was it called again? I sent you the message last night. It was called. I'll put. Hold on. What was it called?
We can cut this out. Don't worry.
I can't remember. Unacknowledged. That's it. And if you've not seen it, anyone in the audience, if you're listening, and you've got any sort of, even if you've not got any interest in this sort of thing, I would strongly advise to go and watch it. It's very deep, but it's incredible, and it'll blow your mind. Like, it'll just, your head will, like, my head was pretty much ready to pop off last night when I was watching it. It's very deep, like I say, but it's about this, it's a Dr. Stephen Greer. You've probably heard of him over in the States quite a bit. I think he's quite a knowledgeable man. He comes out with, I think he was quite high in all the coronavirus stuff as well. But effectively it's him just telling the story of what's gone on really with the whole space stuff. And like Pete, you wanted to go a bit lighter with this conversation. I'm going to drag it down again to go really deep, but it's the whole thing around, because the Pentagon released footage of confirming UFOs are actually a real thing. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I did see the video. I didn't look much into it though.
Of the recent?
Yeah, just like last week, you saw like.
Yeah, I saw like the silhouette picture.
Yeah, so that's it's just like they were released in 2004 and 2015, I think. They were taken in 2004, 2015, and released to the public, I think, in like 2007, 2017, whatever. And basically, the Pentagon have came out and said like it is actually real, like alien or UFOs anyway. Well, they're calling them UAPs. Unexplained
aircraft.
Unexplained aerial phenomenon. So they're like going away from the UFO because they don't know what it is. But like, they're fast as fuck. Did you see the speed of them?
Yeah.
On that video?
Yeah. Yeah.
They go.
It's quick.
They go 200,000 kilometers per hour.
It's quicker than Goot swiping on Tinder.
Yeah.
But how fast is that?
It's funny because I think I immediately just scrolled past it because I just figured it was one of those like myths again.
Yeah.
Is it confirmed?
This is the thing. Like, so for years and years, it was like aliens. Like, only lunatics think aliens are real. There's no way. No one's actually seen anything. Like, since we've had smartphones, there's not been any sightings. There's not been like. But then the Pentagon have come out and confirmed it. So it's like, well, here you go. Like, everything that you believe now is like, and it didn't even really make that big news because everything else that's going on, it just shows how much 2020 is fucked. But like,
There's a
go on.
there's a whole culture out. If you go to Las Vegas and you drive an hour, 2 hours north, there's just this whole culture of like alien tourism.
One in New Mexico too.
And New Mexico as well, yeah. If you go out there, like
Roswell, New Mexico.
right, out where they tested the bombs, and
Well, that's
if you go out there, there's diners and like wild like monuments and stuff like that, all for extraterrestrial life, which is just something like wild to me.
Yeah, there's like a Burger King, like in
Yeah.
the shape of a UFO.
Yeah, that's
No
right.
way.
That one's in Roswell, I think. Yeah.
no way, because that's where, like, again, that show that I watched last night, that's where the first ever sort of UFO sighting was. It was in New Mexico. It actually crash landed, and it had been like discovered just in New Mexico. And yeah, in 1952, I think it was. But they discovered it, and apparently in this show last night, they discovered that inside the UFO was like 2 aliens. One of them was still alive. Honestly, yeah, and the other one, well, they were like cut in bits because like they'd crashed and like at high speed. But they were still, one of them was still alive, so they took it away and froze everything. But it's just really interesting, like, because they were saying, like, we were talking, like, no, I know, I was like, it's like you think, oh, it's crazy, but like we're talking like,
Rich is a little,
but these guys are like they're like high-ranking officers in the FBI, in the U.S. Army, the U.S. Navy, like government, like high, like, you know, they're clever people and they're all talking about it. But yeah, it's quite interesting. That's all I'd say. Like, honestly, just go and give it a watch, especially now because we're not doing a whole lot. But it will blow your mind, sort of what their whole take on everything is with it.
Yeah, we don't have to talk about it, but it reminds me of, I know you guys reference Joe Rogan a lot, but it reminds me of that guy on his podcast that talked about how he worked on like an unidentified craft in Area 51. What was his name? You know?
I haven't watched that episode. No.
Oh, you haven't seen that?
No.
I've not.
I mean, have
you seen that?
I've not seen it. No.
Oh, you gotta watch that. It's crazy. He says they like blindfolded them into it and then wouldn't give them any information. They just wanted them to reverse engineer like this mechanical like structure they had never seen before.
Yeah.
Do you guys believe in aliens?
Yeah, 100%.
I believe in aliens.
Yeah.
I believe in aliens, but I don't believe they've flown into our airspace, whatever you want to call it.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, the universe is vast. There's definitely other life out there,
Yeah.
whether it be a person or a plant. I mean,
Well, here's what's fascinating to me about the whole argument of aliens and that whole topic is that we don't know what aliens would look like at all. The way that life develops on other planets is essentially totally different than how it developed here. So, like the chances of aliens having 4 limbs and ears are super low. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess because there's infinite possibilities of how life develops on other
Well,
planets.
this is the thing. Like, I know you guys said that you didn't necessarily believe that it's been here. Whether we want to believe it or not, the Pentagon did confirm that they seen those things.
Right.
We don't know what was flying them. You know, these could just literally be like drones that we fly around, me and you, Pete, and they've just made them super high tech and they could come from China. We don't know. But either way, they confirmed that this is something that can travel very fast and it's never been seen before. We don't know if there's aliens inside that, but it's definitely, there is something out there that can fly extremely fast, obviously, because the Pentagon have said that it is factual, and we've
But
200,000 kilometers an hour, you definitely wouldn't see that.
Yeah.
would
Speed of
Would
light.
you hear it?
it
Would
was
you feel it?
it was two U.S. Navy RAF, I don't know, they were like two U.S. Air Force fighter jets, and they were like tracing them, and they were hovering apparently at the time, and they put like a laser beam thing over them, and then they flew off, and that's how they got a reading of how fast they were going effectively. But that equates to 50 kilometers a second, which is just like That's mind blowing.
Jesus Christ. But changing topics,
Go on.
Rich, did we get any audience questions?
We did,
today,
yeah.
or
We
no?
got a couple actually. We got a good one actually. Well, we got two good ones. But obviously
Let's read the two best. Let's pick the
two
two best.
best. So
We got 8 minutes left.
let's do it. So the first one, who would your dream guests be for the podcast?
That's a good one. Rich, you want to answer that first? You want to tackle it?
I wouldn't necessarily say I've got a dream guest. I suppose from everything that we've just been speaking about, like if we don't know what's going to happen in our lifetime, if we go up to space in the next couple of weeks and discover that there's other life forms out there, then why not have the first ever alien on a podcast? Let's get him on. I'd love that. But yeah, I don't really have a dream guest. I don't think.
Really?
No.
You don't have a dream guest?
I don't.
Other
Other than you two boys, yeah.
You wouldn't want to get Casey Neistat
That would be cool,
or
but
anything
that
like
would be
that?
cool. But he's been on podcasts, though, Pete. Like it's been done before. We want to
Right.
break barriers, you
Yeah.
know. Aliens, man. I'm telling you, that's what's going to take this show to the next level.
Let me think. I don't know who I would want to have on. Probably someone who's got like their hand in a lot of things.
Yeah, like
Like-
who could give you a lot of answers. To
Right.
Like
Someone who's in like maybe film, music, I don't know, other industries, you know?
Secret Service.
Like, yeah, or like that,
Mm.
or,
What if you do the first? You know how people say if they tell you they'd have to kill you.
Yeah.
What if you got them to tell you, and then they had to kill you? That would be a podcast.
Yeah, like, I think like having someone like who has a bunch of stories, like Tom Hanks, or I don't know if you guys know who Childish Gambino is. Childish Gambino.
I was gonna say Donald Glover would be mine.
Yeah.
Donald Glover.
But you have anyone you'd want to host a podcast with, like, or a guest? That's sorry.
I mean,
A
Donald
dream?
Glover. You said it.
Yeah. Okay. Got you. Rich, you got that second. You want to move on to the second question?
It was actually from. Let's hold on. So Alejandro, is that how you say it?
Alejandro. Yeah, I mentioned him earlier.
Yeah. So he asked us, Pete, which has been the most painful moment as an Arsenal fan, and then he's put in brackets. There are plenty. I know. Thanks for that.
Jesus.
I'll let you answer this one first. Mine is very vivid, Pete.
Well, you've been an Arsenal fan longer than me. I mean, in recent memory, what comes to mind is that Olympiacos bum chance, but like that's not nearly like what I think it's. I don't have a specific moment. It's more so like just title runs that end early, that just kind of fizzle out every February. You know, it
The
comes
amount of
around.
times they choke.
Yeah, that too. Every February it comes around and you're just like, okay, we're 3 points off, and then they just fade away, or they're leading the league. Like, and then obviously the huge Champions League defeats to everyone. Monaco a couple of years ago, when you drawn with Monaco in the last 16 of the Champions League, you're like, oh hell yeah, like this is the one team you want to get drawn against. And then you go down 3-1 in the first leg. So I don't think I have a specific memory. But Rich, how about you?
Yeah, mine is without
Champions League final,
Champions
maybe?
League final, without a doubt. 2005, 2006 against Barcelona.
6, yeah.
We got, keeper Jens Lehmann sent off, 7th minute. Thought, we didn't have much of a chance anyway. We got our keeper sent off, 10 men for 83 minutes. And we think, that's it. And then we go 1-0 up. Amazing. And then 80th minute, I think Barcelona scored, and then 4 minutes later, bang! And I was devastated. I was crying, everything.
Yeah.
I was honest. That's the only ever time I've cried at football, and I cried. I'm happy. I'll happily admit that. I won't happily admit
That's
it. I'll just
fine.
admit it. I'm still recovering from it now. To be honest, it's hit me hard. You know.
Well, recent years it's tough. Charlie, are you an Arsenal fan?
No, I'm not.
Who do you-
I'm not. No.
Who do you support?
I don't really support any football teams, but if I had to support one, it'd be Aston Villa.
I got you. Okay.
You've probably not heard
So
of
what
them.
do you
They're not
watch?
very good.
No, I know. I've heard of Aston Villa.
Yeah.
I watch all the time.
Oh, okay.
But
Fair enough.
that whole topic, we can get into Arsenal one day, Rich, on a whole episode of this podcast, or Arsenal, or just like soccer in general in the United States, or comparing and contrasting the sport in the two countries that we are in. But
should I show who I support?
Yeah, who do you support? Oh, hold up. You don't actually support this team, do you?
If he brings out a Tottenham top, I'm done.
This is the most random thing hanging in this house.
Leicester City.
This has just been hanging in your house for a couple of years now, right?
Yeah, I've had it forever.
Yeah. So
my dad got it to me when he visited England.
Yeah.
No way.
And it was like right after the year after they won the league. Yeah.
That's an insane story.
Yeah,
I'm not a real fan. I don't follow it that much.
We'll bring you boys back on to talk about sport. I think it's an episode that we talked about this yesterday planning. We want to kind of have a whole episode based on sport in the two countries that we're in, because we think we could talk about it for a long time. Yeah, but you want to close this episode out, Rich?
Let's do it. That was good. Again, we didn't want to go as deep as we did, but I think, it was good fun. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Make sure and leave us a comment. Make sure you tell us who your Muppet of the Week is. And that's pretty much it. Tune in again next Sunday for another episode. Thanks for watching. See you next week. Boom.
All right. Thanks, guys. See you guys next week.